Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Montoya. Alright, so in today's tutorial we will be creating this crossbody bag that doubles as a clutch. Now when you take off the straps, the tabs holding the strap, they disappear. You don't even see them. So that's how you can go from, casual look. If you want to go from that day to night look and just take the straps off, you can do that with this bag. All right, some key details of this bag. There is a pocket in the front. On the inside there is another pocket with some beautiful lining. Let's see, I also use a metal zipper. I'm even going to teach you how to create your own tassel that goes on your zipper. Be sure to check out my blog post. I have linked it in the description box. There you will find all of the supplies that I use. I linked every single supply. You can find everything to make this bag at Joann's. That is where I got all of my supplies from. So it's a one-stop shop to get all the supplies you need. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. All right, for this tutorial, you will need two different types of interfacing. You'll need medium weight interfacing and also fusible fleece interfacing, a half a yard of each. For the fabric, you'll need half a yard for your main fabric. I'm using this faux suede from Joann's and it has a little bit of stretch to it. You'll need a half a yard of lining. This is also from Joann's. Well, actually everything that you see here I purchased at Joann's. And then also for the pocket that goes on the inside of your purse, if you would like a pocket to go on the inside, you will need 1/3 of a yard for that. You'll need some sewing pins, some fabric scissors, and you'll also need a 9-inch zipper. Now the rest of the materials are optional, but I'm going to talk about what each of them are, and you can decide whether or not you want to get them. Now this helps when you turn the purse to the right side facing out to point out the corners of the bag. So this is optional. Then also another thing that I'll be using is some Wonder Tape. So like when I'm pressing up, it doesn't like to stay flat, so I use the Wonder Tape to help hold that down and keep it flat. Alright, also these are optional. The hook is a small swivel hook and D-ring, so you will need those if you want the option of being able to attach a strap to your bag. Also optional is the magnetic snaps. Now it'll stay closed if you fold it over, it'll be fine, but I just thought it was a nice cute little touch to have the magnetic, being able to snap that. So optional, see I put a little tassel at the end. So in order to do that, I used some leather cord, some large lobster clasps, and a jump ring to create the tassel here on the bag. Lastly, if you would like to create a pattern so that you can make this purse over and over again, you're going to need some pattern paper. Alright, the first thing that you want to do is lay out your fabric. I have the fabric on the fold here. I have the selvage edge to the selvage edges over on this side, raw edge up here, and a raw edge up here. Alright, so the first piece that we need to cut out is our main fabric for the purse. And that's going to be 14 inches long by 11 inches wide. The next pattern piece that we need to cut out is the strap for our purse. That is 2 inches by 22.5 inches. And we're going to cut that out on the fold of the fabric. So I'm going to line that up with the fold. Okay, you need a total of 1 of these cut out on the fold. The next pattern piece that we're going to need, is our zipper tabs. This measures 1 inch by 2 inches. And I'm going to place that right underneath. You can place it on the side. If you have room, you can place it up there. But I'm going to place mine down here. Okay, the next piece that you're going to need is the D-ring strap that goes on the inside of the purse, so that your strap is nice and hidden. So this measures 2 inches by 2 inches. And I'm going to cut that out down here. So the next thing that you want to do is go ahead and cut all of this out. The next piece that you will cut out is the front exterior pocket. So this is going to be a pocket that's in the front of the purse. This measures 7.5 by 11 inches. Now you only need to cut one of these. So with your fabric, you'll open it so that it is a single layer only, because you only need one. And then you will go ahead and cut this out. Alright, for the lining fabric, I also have it laid out with the fold here and the selvage to the selvage edges over here on this side. For your lining, you also need to cut out 2 pieces that measure 14 by 11 inches. So 14 by 11, you'll just lay this out and you will go ahead and cut this. Alright, the next thing that you need to cut out is the fusible fleece. So I have it on the fold here, and the selvages are over here on this side. You also need to cut 2 pieces that measure 14 by 11 inches. Alright, next go ahead and lay out your interfacing. Right now I'm looking at the selvage edges here on the side. I'm going to go ahead and fold it down. And then I need to cut out 2 pieces of this medium weight interfacing because it's going on the lower part of my lining fabric. Now this measures 8 inches by 11 inches. So then next you would just go ahead and cut this out. Alright, for the inside pocket, I'm using a contrasting fabric. You can use the same one as your lining if you would like, but I want something different. So I have the folded edge here, selvage to selvage is here. The interior pocket, you need 2 of these, and this measures 7 inches by 9 inches. And you would just lay that on your fabric and cut it out. Alright, the next thing you want to go ahead and do is grab your main fabric and grab your fusible fleece. You want to lay your main fabric with the wrong side facing up. Take your fusible fleece and you want to lay it so that the glue dots, the rough side, is facing the wrong side of your fabric. And we're getting ready to fuse this in place, but one thing that I like to do before fusing is in all 4 corners of my fusible fleece, I like to cut a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch little small square out of the fusible fleece. And I like to do this because when we get ready to turn this, I like for my corners to be nice and sharp. This helps to eliminate the bulk in the corners of the purse. And now after you have your little square cut out of the corners, what you want to do is take it to your iron. I use a polyester setting, but you can use some scrap piece of fabric and a little piece of fusible fleece and see how it responds with your iron and your fabric. But what I like to do is I like to spritz some water on top, just a little bit, and then I hold it in place for 10 to 15 seconds. Then I move it 10 to 15 seconds and keep doing that all the way across until it's fused. Then I turn it over, and then the fabric that I'm using, I don't want it to burn or get damaged by my iron, so I take a pressing cloth, turn my iron to an appropriate setting, so I just turn it down, and then this isn't any special type of cloth, it's just a scrap piece of fabric, and then I take my iron and give it a nice press on top so that everything is nicely fused together. Alright, so go ahead and do that for both of your pieces. Next, go ahead and grab your lining fabric and grab the medium weight interfacing. Now take your interfacing and face it so that the glue dot side is touching the wrong side. And we only need to put this on the bottom half of our lining. So you'll take this to your iron, spritz your water, hold it back and forth for 15 seconds until you have it fused in place. Alright, go ahead and grab your exterior pocket, turn it to the wrong side, facing up. Now on your pattern piece, what you want to do is, on your pattern piece or directly on your fabric, what you want to do is find the center of the pattern. So you can fold that in half, and that'll mark the center. Now from this center point, you want to measure up 4.5 inches and make a dot. This is where we are going to place the clasp of our purse. So I've already done it on my pattern. I'm going to transfer that marking. Just going to grab a pin. And we're going to mark that. Now go ahead and grab your purse snap. Now for your purse snap, there's one piece that's more magnetic than the other. So we're going to be working with the one that does not have the magnet inside. It's the flatter piece. What you want to do is take it with the prong side facing down. Now right where that dot is, I'm going to take it and I'm going to push it in my fabric to help make an imprint. Okay, and this should make some marks in your fabric. I'm just going to use my marker so that you all can see it on camera. Now right here where these two indentations are, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip. So what I like to do is pinch my fabric, and then I like to take my scissors and snip. Alright, now turn it to the right side. Now take your clasp and you want to push it through those snips that you just made. Flip it back over. Next, take the metal piece, place it on the back. Take some jewelry pliers that I have, and you're just going to fold it over to hold it down. Alright, the next thing that we need to do is hem the top edge of our front pocket piece. Now you can tell which one is the top because remember we measured down from the bottom up 4.5 inches. I know it might look a little bit similar, but the bottom edge is a little bit longer than it is up top here. So turn it to the wrong side, grab a seam gauge. I'm going to use my index card. I've already measured a 3/8 of an inch line. I'm going to fold over the top to meet that 3/8 of an inch line and press. And I'm going to do that all the way across, and then we will take this to our sewing machine and stitch it down. Alright, go ahead and turn your front pocket piece to the right side so we can top stitch. Line up the edge with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to change my stitch length to 3.0. Lower your needle, begin sewing, and back stitch, and keep sewing until you get to the end. Alright, now take this to your iron and give it a nice press. Remember, if you're using faux suede like me, use a pressing cloth. Next, grab one of your main fabric pieces, take your front pocket and lay it right on top, matching it up with the bottom edge. And now you can grab some pins or some clips. For this particular fabric, I wish I had purchased some clips since it is on the thicker side. Okay, and you're going to pin the other side. We'll take this to our sewing machine and we're going to baste this down in place. Alright, I'm changing my stitch length to 4.5. I have the bottom edge of the pocket lined up with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to lower my needle and begin sewing. No need to back stitch. And I'm going to keep sewing until I reach the other end of the pocket. Alright, once you reach the other end, go ahead and stop. Now you can go ahead and repeat this process on the other side. Alright, the next thing that we need to do is attach our other clasp. We need to attach it up here on the top edge. So now turn your clutch to the wrong side. Alright, to find your clasp marking, take the purse, fold it, find the center, open it up. Now you have a center marking. Now what you want to do is from the top, measure down 1 inch and make a dot. That is where we're going to place the clasp. And I have labeled it clasp as a reminder. Now I'm taking my pattern piece and I'm putting it on the wrong side of my purse. I'm going to take a pin, push it through that dot. Okay, I'm going to move the paper over. And right where that pin is coming out, I'm going to make a dot. Now I'm going to take my clasp, and right where that dot is, I'm going to place it right in between the 2 prongs and push it into my fabric to make an indentation. And I'm going to darken my indentation so you all can see here. Alright, so where my 2 indentation marks are, I'm going to take my scissors, similar to what we did earlier, pinch it, and make a snip. Alright, now I'm going to turn it to the right side, take my clasp, and push it right through those snips. Flipping it back over, taking my metal piece, putting it on the back. Use your paper scissors, or if you have some jewelry pliers, use that to fold the prongs down. Okay, and I'm going to repeat that process on the other side.